Now, so during that role hierarchy that we have discussed, whenever a subordinate user has created a record, that record will be getting visible to the manager by default. Instead of making the record to be visible to the manager manually by our own, role hierarchy will make you the subordinate record to be get visible to the manager by default. Based on the hierarchy, it will make it visible over here. Okay, now, so yesterday we have configured the role hierarchy. There we have configured some set of roles like the CEO role, COO, CFO, CTO, Vice President. Like that, we have configured some set of roles, and we have configured the hierarchy of those roles also, and we have assigned these roles to the respective users. So now whenever we are assigning the roles to the users, whenever the manager user has created a record, automatically that record will be getting visible to the training back user also. Okay? In this case, role hierarchy will make the subordinate record to be get visible to that manager by default here. Okay? Now, so let me verify this here. Okay, let me cross check this. So now we have these roles are available, and then we have assigned these roles to the users also. Yesterday we have discussed practically. Now, I would like to log in as the development user. Once I log in into the development user, I would like to create a new account record inside my object. Once the record has been getting created, then whom the record should be get visible? The record should be visible to the owner of the record. That means who has created that. And along with that, the record should be get visible to that manager of that user itself. That means training batch user also should be able to access that record. Then what about the other users inside the organization? Other users should not be able to access my record over here. This is a functionality. Whenever I'm going to be configuring the role hierarchy, okay, at that time, role hierarchy will make the subordinate records to be get visible to the manager by default here. Okay, then, so let me test this functionality, and then what will happen, we'll observe now. Let's take a small use case now. Take a small use case. Create an account record by login with the development user account. Okay, development user account, and verify the record visibility. Okay, verify the record visibility. That is, who are all the users are able to access the record. That means which record, which users can able to access my record, I would like to cross check that. Now tell me, how can we do this one? How can we implement this functionality? Now let's see here. So I would like to create an account record inside my account object, okay, with the help of the development user account. That means I would like to log in into the development user account. With this user account, I would like to log in into his account by using login option, and I would like to create one account record inside this object. Once a record has been getting created, then I would like to cross check who are all the users can see this record here, to whom this record is visible. So ultimately, the record will be getting visible to the owner of the record. That means development user is creating the record so that he will be the owner of the record. So owner will be having the full control. Along with the owner, who are all the other people can able to see my record. If the record is visible to the other people also, then how can we restrict? We'll see the practically over here today with the help of OWD. Now, so now let's see here. So now I would like to log in into the development user account here. So let me implement that step by step over here. As a step 1, log in into the development user account. And as a step 2, create an account record inside the account object. Okay. Now, as a step 3, verify the record accessibility. Okay. Verify the accessibility. So these are the 3 steps I would like to follow here. Okay. Done? Now. Now. So now here let me implement this functionality here. This is my use case. I would like to create an account record, okay, with the development user account. Then how to log in into the development user account, you know that concept here. Okay. Now, how can we do that one now? Currently, I'm into the administration user account. That means I'm the training batch user. I want to log in into the development user account. Then how? Just to go to that, manage users. Click on users link. Go to the development user account. Click on login. That's it. From now onwards, to log in into the user account, I would like to use this option only. Don't use that username and password always. Don't go with a different browser. Okay, use everything from this browser itself over here. Now log in into the development user account. Click on login. Now currently I'm into the development user account. Okay, currently I'm into the development user account. So now let's create an account record inside my object here. Okay, click on the accounts tab, create an account record now. So I'm creating an account record over here. Okay, with the name. Now I would like to specify the record over here. I'm creating a new account record over here. Role hierarchy, test account. I'm giving that account record name as role hierarchy test account. I'm indicating the type value as prospect. Industry, I'm making it as banking. Annual revenue, some 27 lakhs. Country name as some India. Rating value I'm indicating as hard. Phone number I'm entering some value. Fax number I'm entering some value. Website I'm giving like as some gmail.com. Ownership some public. So now here in this case I'm giving that customer priority as high and the active status as yes. So these are few values that I have entered upon creating my account record inside my account object here. Okay. Now I'm creating this account record. Now click on save button. The record will be getting created successfully. A new account record has been created. Now the record is available over here. As a owner, that means your development user will be the owner of the record over here. Okay. Because the currently logged in user is a development user. So this user will be the owner of the record automatically by default here. Now, development user will be having the full control on this record here. He will be having that full control. Next. Now, so now along with me, who are all the other people can able to access that record here? As part of my role hierarchy, so now I'm having this role hierarchy like this. This is the role hierarchy we have configured. So I'm the development user over here. Whenever I'm going to be creating a record with my credentials, okay, with my user account, then the record should be get visible to me. Along with that, my record should be get visible to my manager also. That means training back user also should be able to access the record. But other users inside my organization, they should not be able to access my record over here. Why? Because if the record is visible to everyone, there is no concept of security here. So that here, my record should be visible only to me along with my manager also here. But except the manager and myself, other users should not be able to access my record. Okay. Now I would like to verify that here. So now in this case, I would like to verify whether my manager is able to access my record or not. I would like to cross check that. Okay. So for that one, I'm verifying that where I verify the record visibility here. So in this case here, okay, now I would like to cross check that. So let's come out from the development user account. Now currently I'm with the training batch user account here. That means this user should be able to access my record. Let's go to that account object here. Get all the records available inside my object here. Let's verify whether your record is visible or not here. So I've created the record with the name role hierarchy test account. So now this record is visible to my manager also here. Even though the record owner is development user, the record is visible to the training batch user also. Nothing but my manager can able to access my record because of the role hierarchy. Okay, up to this is working fine. Okay, now. So what about the remaining users? Like as my siblings are there, that means who are in the same hierarchy like me. Along with that, I'm having my subordinate also here. What about these three people here? Will these three people should be able to access my record? No. These people should not be able to access my record here. So now let me verify whether these people might be able to access my record or not. I'm having some doubt that whether the other people inside my organization may be able to access my record or not. I would like to cross check that. If they're able to access that, I would like to make it restricted. Okay. Now, how can we do that? Now, let's see practically in this case. Okay. Now. So now let me verify that here. Now. So let me log in into that other user account also. Like as I would like to log in into customer user account. Customer user in the sense is one of my sibling over here. Nothing but who is working like us, the same hierarchy. We all three are in the same hierarchy over here. With all the three people reporting to that CEO directly. That means training batch user. Now, I want to make sure that, so now I would like to verify with that customer user account. I would like to verify whether this person is able to see my record or not. Okay, now. Let's log in into that customer user account. Verify whether this person is able to see my record or not. Okay, go to that accounts. Get the records over here. So now here in this case, let's verify. This person is also able to see my record over here. Role hierarchy test account. This person is also able to see my record. Okay, now my doubt is confirmed now. So now as part of the role hierarchy, my record should be get visible only to me and my manager, except both the people, other people should not be able to access. But here, this person is also able to access my record here. Okay, now. Next one, I want to cross check with my subordinate over here, whether my subordinate people may be able to access my record or not. I would like to cross check that. So let me come out from this user account, go to that testing user over here because he is my subordinate over here. Okay, now. So now log in into the testing user. Now let's verify whether this person is able to see my record or not. Get the records here. So in this case, this person is also able to see my record over here. That means what? Whenever I'm going to be creating the records, by default, the record is visible to me along with my manager also, along with that remaining other people are also able to see my record here. But I don't want to make it visible to other people. My record should be get visible only to me and my manager here. Except we both people, other people should not be able to access the record. If it is required, then I will share the records visibility over here. Then how can we restrict that? For that one, Salesforce has given a feature called as OWD. Okay, OWD. That means organization-wide defaults. Okay, organization-wide defaults. Okay, organization-wide defaults. So now generally here, whenever we are configuring that role hierarchy should make your record to be get visible to your manager only, not to the other people. But here what happened? Everybody is able to see my record. If everybody is able to access my record, then what is the concept of security over here? So for that reason here, what I want to do is, I don't want to make my record to be visible to everyone. I want to make my record to be get visible only to me and my manager. Okay. In future, if my record should be visible to, if my record is accessible by one of my subordinate or my sibling, then I will share the record visibility at that time. Depends upon the requirement, I will make that record visibility over here. Then in this case, how can we restrict the visibility here? My record should not be visible to the other people inside my organization. For that one, we are using a feature called as OWD, organization-wide defaults. Then what exactly the organization-wide defaults? What is the use? And what options are available as part of this organization-wide defaults? And where we can set the organization-wide defaults option. And then how can we assign the OWD option for each and every object, and what options are applicable for which objects, we'll see practically in this case over here. Okay, now. So now here in this case, what exactly the organization-wide defaults? Now let's see practically. It's a very, very important concept as part of security. Okay, now let's observe this one. Organization-wide defaults. Okay, now that means here by default, what options to be get applicable to all the users within my entire organization, that we can indicate with the help of organization-wide defaults. Like for example, come to a general scenario. For example, I have so many objects are available inside my organization. I'm having so many objects are available. I'm having this account object here. I'm having the contact object. I'm having the lead object. I'm having the case object. I'm having my custom object also. I'm having my position object also. So now we are having so many objects are available inside my organization over here. Okay, I'm having so many objects are available inside my organization. So on the other hand, okay, on the other hand, I'm having so many users are available here. So on the other hand, I'm having so many users are also available here. So these are the various users are available inside my organization. Okay. These are the various users are available inside my organization. Okay. Now, so now here in this case here, for example, we have the development user. Whenever development user is creating a record inside this account object, then to whom that record should be get visible, I would like to decide. Okay. So whenever I'm creating a new record, that record should be visible only to me and my manager. Except these two people, okay, other people should not be able to access the record. I want to restrict that visibility here. Then how can we indicate here? Okay, how can we indicate? For that one, in between the objects and the organization, we are going to be introducing a mediator component here. That is called as OWD. Okay, that is called as OWD over here. So now for each and every object, we can able to specify the OWD option also. Okay, for every object, we can indicate the OWD option also over here. We can indicate that OWD option also. So here we can able to specify the OWD option whatever you want. Here we can indicate that OWD option. Now, here we can specify the OWD option also here. These are the objects are there. And then here I would like to specify the OWD option. So these are the users available inside my organization. Okay. So here we can specify the OWD. Then what is the concept of OWD? Now let me explain over here. Now, suppose for example, come to a general scenario. Assume that we have a manufacturer, mobile manufacturer like some Apple. Apple people are manufacturing the latest models of iPhones with a different configuration, with a different features, with a different designs. Now, for example, they're ready with a new model of iPhone, some iPhone 11. Okay, iPhone 11. So now in this case, when coming to that iPhone 11 can be utilized by only in US? Or can't we use that mobile from India? Can't I use that mobile iPhone 11 from India or not? Yes, everybody can use. Because that mobile product is not only utilized by the US citizens, everybody can use in the entire world. Okay? So from India also the people can use, China also the people can use, and then from other countries also the people can use. So now whatever the mobiles they have manufactured, those mobiles can be utilized by any person in the entire world. So now in this case here, now tell me here. Now whenever they are going to be manufacturing that mobile, before releasing that mobile product into the market, they are indicating some default settings. Okay, some default settings. Like the default wallpaper inside that mobile, the default screensaver, the default message alert tone, the default ringtone. Okay. So there are settings, they were specifying some default settings over here. Now tell me, these default settings are different from country to country, or it will be same for all the countries in the entire world? Country to country, these are different? No. It may be ringtone also. It may be message alert tone also. Or it may be the background screensaver. It may be that wallpaper also. It may be anything. Whatever the default applications inside that mobile, everything is same for the entire world. These are not different from country to country. These are not different from person to person who is going to purchase. Even though that mobile may be purchasing by a rich person, or the mobile may be purchasing by a poor person also. So now the features are same. Configuration is same. Default settings are same. Irrespective of the country, irrespective of that location, irrespective of the person, these are same. Okay. So like the similar way here also, I would like to specify the default OWD option. That means here, OWD indicates, okay, whenever I'm creating a record, that record will be visible to whom? That means who are all the people can able to see my record over here. Whenever I'm creating a new record, that record should be visible to whom? That will be indicated by the OWD. So in this case, OWD can be applicable only on the object level, not for the user level here. Okay, not on the user level. For every user, irrespective of the user in the entire organization, these settings are same. Suppose, for example, here, for this account object, if I'm giving one OWD option, at that time, the same option will be applicable for the COO user, CFO user, development user, testing user, also everyone here. That means what? Irrespective of the user, everybody will be having that same option for the object level OWD. Okay? So now when coming to the OWD decide which record should be visible to whom. That if information will be indicated by the OWD over here. Okay? Now, so in this case over here, let's make a note of this one. OWD. Organization-wide defaults are used to indicate which record should be visible to whom. Which record should be visible to whom. Which record should be visible to whom, that we can indicate with the help of organization-wide defaults. OWD can be applicable. OWD can be applicable only on the object level. OWD can be applicable only on the object level. Whenever you are assigning the OWD option for an object, irrespective of the user, the same options will be available for every user also here. Okay, irrespective of that user, the same option will be getting available for every user inside the organization here. Okay, now once a OWD option has been assigned for an object, then it will be applicable to all the users. Inside the organization. This will be applicable to all the users inside the organization. Irrespective of the user, everybody will be getting that same options over here. So previously what happened, whenever I'm creating a record, my record is visible to everyone within my organization. So at that time, there is no concept of security here. But I don't want to do that. My record should be get visible only to some certain people, that we can decide that with the help of this OWD. So now this OWD indicates to whom the record should be get visible, to all the people or only to me and my manager here, that we can decide with the help of this OWD here. Okay? Now, in this case here, whenever we are going to be assigning the OWD for an object, Salesforce has given so many OWD options to you. Okay, Salesforce has given so many OWD options. Each and every option will be having its own significance feature. Each and every OWD option is having its own functionality, its own behavior is available here. Then what options are available for the OWD here? Now let's see. OWD options. The first one is private. Second one is public read only. Third one is public read write. And the fourth one is public read write transfer. Fifth one is public full access. And the sixth one is no access. Seventh one is view only. Eighth one is use. Ninth one is controlled by parent. Controlled by parent. These are the various OWD options has been given by Salesforce. Whenever we are going to be assigning the OWD options, we have these 9 options has been given by Salesforce. But these 9 options are not applicable to all the objects here. For few objects, some options are applicable additionally. Okay, now let's see which options are applicable to which object we'll see practically now. Everything. These OWD options can not only for the standard, this can be applicable for your custom objects also. That's what I have given your custom objects also in this case. Everywhere. Everywhere. Wherever you can be able to access that object, the same functionality will be applicable. Because you are referencing the same object, right? Once you are applying at the objective, it will be applicable everywhere here. Okay? Now, so in this case, whatever the 9 options that we have discussed, all these 9 options are not available for each and every object in Salesforce. So now for account object, few options are applicable. For contact, few options. For lead, few options. Like that here, for every object, few options are applicable. Then for what object, what options are applicable? Now let's see. Now, in this case here, whatever the first 3 options are available, like as private, public read only, public read write. These 3 options are common to all the objects in Salesforce. It may be standard, it may be custom. For every standard, for every custom object, the first 3 options are common, except only one object that is called as price book. Okay? We have an object called as price book object over here. Price book object contains what? All the products prices information is available. This is the product code, this is the price of the product. This is the second product code, price. Third product code, price. Like that, each and every product will be having its own price. The prices information we are storing inside an object called as price book object here. Now, in this case, whatever the first three options are available, like as private, public read only, public read write, these three options are available for each and every standard and each and every custom object except the pricebook object here. Okay? Now, that means these options can be applicable for all the standard, all the custom objects inside your Salesforce instance except the pricebook object here. Okay? Now, make a note point here. Now, the first point here. Private, public read only, and the public read write options will be applicable for all standard and custom objects. Custom objects except the pricebook object. Pricebook object will not be having these options over here. Pricebook object will not be having this option. Okay. The first three options are common for each and every standard, each and every custom object in Salesforce, except the pricebook object here. After completion of the security topic, I would like to conduct a small exam on this. Okay. What are the topics we have discussed as of now? Okay, I would like to conduct a small exam on that. Okay. Now, it's not like as a multiple choice, both will be available here. Okay. We have to write some code. That means you have to write some statement, nothing but theoretical part we have to write, along with that some multiple choice also. Okay. Because by completion of that admin topics, I would like to conduct two exams. Okay. One is, okay, till now after the security topic, I would like to conduct one exam over here. After that completion of the remaining admin features, I will conduct one more exam on this. Okay. Because they are the similar kind of questions they will be raising in the entry point of view also. That will be very easy for you. Okay. Okay. Now, next one. So the second note point here. The first three options are common to all the objects. It may be standard, it may be custom objects also, except the pricebook object here. Okay. Now the second one. The public read write transfer options will be available for only lead and case objects. The public read write transfer option will be applicable or available for only lead object and the case object in Salesforce. That means lead object and case object will be having first three options are common as it is. Along with that, it will be having one additional option, that is public read write transfer over here. Okay. Public read write transfer option will be applicable for lead and the case object only. The next one, public full access. This public full access option will be applicable only for the campaign object in Salesforce. Will be applicable only for the campaign object. That means campaign object will be having the first three options are common as it is. Along with that, you will be having one more additional option that is called as public full access. The next one. Use, view only, and no access options. No access options will be applicable only for the pricebook object here. Price book object contains only these three options over here. Okay, price book object contains only these three options, not the remaining options here. Price book object contains use, view only, and the no access. These three options are applicable only for the price book object. Next, the control by parent option will be available only for the child objects. Okay, child objects in Salesforce. Okay, now control by parent option will be available only for the child objects in Salesforce, not for the parent objects here. Security feature is more important. Done? Now, so now whenever we are having this OWD options, so now we are having totally 9 options are available, but all the 9 options are not applicable for every object in Salesforce. So now the first 3 options, private, public read only, and public read write options are applicable only for all the standard and all the custom objects in Salesforce except the price book object here. Only the price book object will not be having these 3 options. Okay, remaining all the objects in Salesforce will be having these 3 options as it is. Next, the public read write transfer. This option will be available for only for the lead object and the case objects in Salesforce. That means what? Lead object will be having the first 3 options are common as it is. Along with that, it will be having one additional option that is called as public read write transfer option. We'll see each and every option in detail with some practical use cases also. Okay. Next, the public full access. Public full access option will be applicable only for the campaign object. That means here, campaign object will be having the first 3 options are common as it is. Along with that, it will be having one more additional option that is public full access. Next, so now these remaining 3 options over here, no access, view only, and use. These 3 options are applicable only for the price book object here. Price book object contains only these 3 options over here, not the remaining options. Next, the last one. So we have the control by parent option. Control by parent option will be applicable only for the child objects here. Now, during the relationship concept, you know how to create the parent, how to create the child records, you are aware of that. How to map the association between those objects also you are aware of by using that lookup, master detail, many-to-many, hierarchical, all these things. So at that time, those child objects will be having this control by parent option over here. Okay, now. So now here in this case here, okay, now let's see what will happen. How can we verify what options are available for which object? How can we verify? Where is this OWD option available inside my Salesforce instance? Now let me give you that navigation over here. In order to see that OWD option, just to go to that setup menu, go to the administrator menu in the left panel, go to the administrator menu in the left panel, go to the security controls, click on sharing settings. Click on sharing settings link. Go to the organization wide defaults section. Click on edit button. Select the required OWD option. for the object from the pick list. And then click on Save button. Automatically, that OWD option will be getting visible over here. Simply in one word, I can say this OWD is going to be indicating, it is defining the scope of the visibility here. Whenever I'm creating a record, now that record scope will be available up to what level? That means this record should be visible to whom? That record is visible only to me and my manager, or all the users can see that record. That will be indicated by the OWD option to you. Okay? Now, in this case, along with me, if the other users are also able to see my record, then what is the different level of access over here? For me, what access level will be available on the record? For the other people, what level of access they will have? As a owner, I can see my record. I can modify my record. I can delete my record. I can do whatever the operation I want. Like the similar way, other people will have what level of access that will be indicated by the OWD to you. Okay? Now, in this case, we'll see how can we verify this information now. Okay? Now, how can we see what options are available here? So let me go to that navigation part. So go to your Salesforce instance. Go to the administrator menu in the left panel. Go to the security controls and expand it. Here you will be having an option called as sharing settings. Okay, we have an option called as sharing settings. Click on this sharing settings link. Once you click on this sharing settings link, here you will be having a section called as organization-wide defaults section. Okay, there is a section called as organization-wide defaults section. In this case, it is indicating that here, so many object names have been populated. These are the various options are available right now over here inside my organization, both the standard and custom objects. These are the OWD option has been assigned by Salesforce over here. Now, let me verify that here. Now, when you verify this one, all the object names are visible to you. Lead object, account object and contract, contact object, order object, asset object, opportunity, case, campaign, campaign member, user, activity, calendar, price book, individual, like that here. So many objects are available along with my custom objects also, like as candidate, customer, hiring manager, position. All these are 4 custom objects which I have created. Those objects are also visible to me inside this. So that OWD option is not only applicable for your standard, this can be applicable for your custom objects also over here. Okay, now in this case here, all these 4 custom objects are also visible to me inside this. Now, in this case, for which object what options are applicable? Let me show you practically now. Just click on this edit button. Click on this edit button. Let's verify for which object what options are applicable. Now let's see practically in this case. Now, for example, let me go to that account object over here. What options are available now? Private, public read only, public read write. Only these 3 options are available over here. Go to that opportunity. We are having private, public read only, public read write. 3 options are available over here. Next, let me verify my custom objects here. So now when coming to my custom objects here, here also I'm able to see private, public read only, public read write options are available. Now here, anything is missing over here? How many custom objects we have? How many custom objects we have generally? 4. Here, how many it is showing? Why? What is the remaining object here? Why the remaining object is not visible? Then, position is also a child, right? Position object is a child to hiring manager. Candidate object is child to position object over here. Then, why the position is visible? Why the candidate is not visible here? What is the reason? Why? Why the owner field is not visible? Hmm? Associated with master detail. That's it. That already told you when coming to the master detail association, what will happen whenever I'm creating a child record will be comes under the control of parent automatically over here. So in this case, if you are removing the parent record, child record also will gone. If you are restoring the parent record, child record will come back. If you are sharing the parent record, child records will share automatically. If you are having the access on parent record, you will be getting the access on child records also by default. That means what? Child record is completely depends on parent record. That's what here candidate object is not visible here. It's one of the common question in every interview. When I try to make some changes, when I try to change the option of OWD, I'm unable to see one of my custom object here. Why? What is the reason? Reason is that is having that master detail association here. Okay, these kind of questions they will raise in the entry point of view. Straightforward questions they won't ask. Okay, very long back they're asking straightforward questions, but nowadays, okay, people are having some masters in the entry point of view. Okay, they're going to be asking this kind of logical things, small points. Okay, don't neglect this kind of small points before going for the interview. Okay, that's what I'm dictating each and every point to you inside your document also, okay, inside the class also here. Okay, so I'm unable to see my candidate object because candidate object is having the master detail association with position. So that here candidate records are comes under the control of position record. So that if I am granting the access on position object automatically, the same access will be granting on candidate also by default over here. Okay, because candidate's object is controlled by position object over here. That's what candidate object will not be visible to you. Okay, this is the reason. Okay, now in this case, when you observe these options here, the private, public read only, public read write options are available for each and every standard, each and every custom object by default over here. Okay, except for all the standard object, for all the custom objects, first three options are available except that price book object here. Okay, now next one here. Now tell me here, for your custom objects, what is the default OWD has been assigned by Salesforce for your custom objects? These are my custom objects. What is the default option has assigned? Public read write. Okay, public read write. Okay, now make a note of this one here. For all the custom objects, Salesforce will assign the default OWD option as public read write. Public read write option will be the default option for each and every object's OWD which are created by your own. Whatever the custom objects you have created, for every custom object, Salesforce is assigning the default OWD option as public read write. Next one, second note point over here. We can't change the OWD option for the child objects which are associated with master detail association. Which are associated with master detail associations. Whatever the child objects are available, which are associated with the master detail associations, for those objects, we can't change any OWD option because the default option for the parent will be applicable for the child also by default. Why? Because is that already we have discussed about that here. That is sharing settings and security settings of the child object will be purely depends on parent object. This is the reason. That's what I have given each and every point during that the association concept. Now, so now let me verify the remaining objects here. So now we have verified few standard objects and few custom objects which are having the default options as private, public read only, and the public read write. When you go to the lead object, you will be having the first three options are common. Along with that, you are having one more additional option called as public read write transfer. Okay, this option is available additionally for the lead object here. When you go to the case object also, the first three options are common. Along with that, you will be getting one more additional option that is called as public read write transfer option. Only the lead object and case object will be having one additional option that is called as public read write transfer. Next one. When you go to the campaign object, here you will be having that. The first three options are common as it is private, public read only, and the public read write. And then additionally, you will be having one more option called as public full access option is available to you. Next, when you go to the price book object, here you will be having only three options are available. You will be having no access, view only, use. Only these three options are available for your price book object over here. Okay, so these are the various options are available over here as part of OWD, which can be applicable for your objects over here. Okay, now, so now here in this case here, whatever the OWD options are available, all the options are not applicable for each and every object. So few options are applicable for few objects itself here. Like the first three options are common for all standard and all custom objects except the price book. And the public read write transfer option is available for only for lead and case. Public full access option is available for campaign object over here. Use, view only, and no access. These options are applicable only for price book. Control by parent option is available for as child objects over here inside your Salesforce instance. Okay, these are the various options are available as part of your OWD. Okay, this OWD can be applicable only on the object level, not on the record level over here. Okay, OWD can be applicable only on the object level, not on the record level over here. Okay, so now in this case, if I'm assigning the OWD option for this object here, the same option is applicable for all the users within your organization over here. That means, irrespective of the user, for every user, the same OWD option will be getting available. For example, if I'm assigning the option as private, then at that time, when the user is trying to be, when the development user is trying to be creating the record, the same option is applicable. When the COO user is creating the record, same OWD option is applicable for the account record. If the vice president is creating the record, the same option will be getting applicable over here. That means, irrespective of the user, for every user, it will be assigning that same OWD option for your object level over here. Now this private option, this OWD option will decide, okay, to whom the record should be get visible over here. Okay, whenever the development user is creating the record, then this record should be visible to whom? That will be decided by the OWD option. When the COO user, nothing but manager user creating the record, to whom the record should be get visible, that will be decided by the OWD. When the testing user is creating the record, this record should be visible to whom, that will be decided by the OWD itself here. Okay, so that here on the object level we can able to apply this OWD. The same option is available for irrespective of all the users. That's what they have given the name as organization-wide defaults. That means organization-wide. In the entire organization for all the users, default settings I would like to apply here. Okay, like when you go to your mobile also, for all the users, irrespective of the country, irrespective of the person, irrespective of the state, irrespective of the city, irrespective of the people category also, the same settings will be available for every mobile device. Like the similar way, irrespective of all the users within my organization, I would like to apply the same option for all the people over here. For that one, organization wide, okay, the default level of setting I would like to apply for every object by using this OWD. Okay, clear? Now, so this is the high level overview of OWD. Now we will digging into that each and every feature one by one. Okay, now, so what exactly this OWD option private? Each and every option will see one by one. Okay, clear? Now, so let's go to that first option over here, private. So what do you mean by the OWD option private? What will happen? Whenever I'm making this object's OWD as private, then what will happen in Salesforce? And then what is the visibility of this private? Now let's see practically one by one over here. Okay, now let me explain the concept first. For example, whenever I'm making this OWD object, OWD for an object as private, okay, whenever I'm making this object's OWD as private, then what it means basically here? Private in the sense what? My own, okay, my own. It belongs to me. It's a private property. It's not a public property. Everybody can't use that. It's a private property, belongs to a person. Only that person can able to utilize that here. Okay, with his permission, we can able to use. We need some permission from that user also. Okay, now, in this case here, observe what will happen. Whenever I'm making this object's OWD as private, okay, in this case, if any of the user creates a record, for example, if the development user creates a record inside this account object here, then automatically the record will be getting visible to the owner of the record along with his manager here. Other people should not be able to access the record over here. Other people should not be able to access the record. Previously, what happened when I create a record by using this use case, when I create an account record inside my account object by logging into the development user, the record is visible to whom? Everybody is able to see my record. Why? What is the problem? Because here it is having that OWD. What is the OWD option is there for this account? Public read write. Public means what? Every user can able to see. That's what here all the people are able to see my record. But now I don't want to make my record to be get visible to the users. That record should be visible only to me and my manager over here, not the other people. In this case, whenever if you want to restrict the visibility of your record, if you want to restrict the visibility that my record should not be visible to everyone, I want to make my record to be get visible only to me as well as my manager also. Except we both the people, other people should not be able to access my record. Then how can we restrict the visibility? For that one, we are going to making this object OWD as private. So in this case, when the development user, any of the user, whatever the user you can take. Suppose if the development user has created a record inside your account object, automatically that record will be getting visible to the development user because he is the owner of the record. Along with that owner, his manager also will be able to see the record here. That means training back user also will be able to see the record, but the remaining people will not be able to see this record here. It is going to be restricting the record visibility over here. Okay, as of now, it is having the public access. Everybody can see that, but I don't want to give the public access of my record. My record should be visible only to me and my manager itself. Now, in some cases, we can raise a question. Sir, for example, here assume that here, I am the development user. Today, I have created a record. That record is visible to me because I am the owner, so I will be having the record access over here. Along with me, my record is visible to my manager also, fine, working fine here. But now, I want to make this record to be get visible to manager user also. I want to grant the visibility to him. How? In this case here, whatever the records you have created, if you want to make your record to be get visible to the other people also, at that time, we have to use a feature called as sharing feature. Okay, we have to use a sharing feature over here. With the help of this sharing feature, we can able to share our record to that other people also. Okay, we can share our record to that other people also over here. That possibility is available. That means what? Don't make your record to be visible to everyone. Make that record to be restricted always here. So upon needed, depends upon the requirement. Okay, we can make the record to be get visible to the other people also. Okay, that possibility will be available to you over here. Okay, clear? Now, in this case, whenever we are making that object's portability as private, what will happen when the user creates a record inside that object? Then the record will be visible only to the owner of the record and his manager. Okay, except these two people, the remaining other users inside the organization will not be able to access the record over here. If you want to make your record to be visible to other people, then what we can do? We have to use a sharing concept over here. With the help of sharing concept, we can make it visible. Then you can raise a question, sir, why can't you make it as a public over here? Public read only or public read write. But in this case, what happened? If you're making it as public read only, then public means what? Everybody can able to see. But I don't want to make it visible to everyone. I want to make it visible to only one person, that is some manager user here, not to all the users. At that time, we can share our record to that other people also over here. How can we share? Now let's see practically over here. Okay, clear? Now, so now let's make that note over here. Private. What do you mean by the private option now? Only the owner and his manager will be able to access the record inside that object here. Other people will not be able to access. In order to make your record to be visible to other people, what we need to do? Sharing concept. That's it. Okay. Now, make a note of this one here. When the object's portability has been assigned as private, then if any of the user creates a record inside the object, then record will be visible only to the record owner and his manager. And his manager. That is, both record owner and his manager will have the full control on the record. That is, they can able to view the record, they can edit the record, they can delete the record, they can share the record, they can perform all the operations over here. But the other users inside the organization will not be able to access the record. But the other users inside the organization will not be able to access the record here. The other users inside the organization will not be able to access the record. So now let's see how can we make the object's portability as private. Whenever I'm making this object's portability as private, what will happen internally? Okay, let me show you practically in this case. Now, so I want to make that object's portability as private. How can we do that? Let me show you practically. Before changing that object's portability as private, okay, let me show you something. For example, I'm having my account object over here. Take any of the record inside your account object here, go to the detail page of your record. What buttons are visible over here? Edit button, delete button, include offline button. These are the buttons are visible here. Let me take the screenshot. Okay, these are the three buttons are available here. Edit button, delete button, and then include offline button. 3 buttons are available. Now I would like to make my object's WD as private. Let me do that here. How can we change the object's WD as private? Okay, now let me show you practically. Just to go to that security controls, sharing settings, go to that organization wide defaults section, click on edit button. Now currently, when coming to my account object, what is the OWD option is available right now? Public read write. What you want to do? Now I want to make it as private. Select the option as private over here. Okay, select the option as private. Now click on save button. So now it will take some time in order to, okay, apply this option over here. Still it is showing like as public read write. Now it is indicating clearly one or more sharing processes has been initiated here. So it will take some time over here. Now, let me refresh that user interface. Still it is in the process over here. Now the option has been assigned as private. Okay. Now let's go to that account object here. Take that same record, edge communication. What happened? Any difference over here between this particular user interface and this user interface? Do we have any differences over here? Then, so what we have identified especially now? Sharing button. That means here one additional button is available over here. This is one of the common question in every interview. When the sharing button will be getting enabled on your records detail page. When the sharing button has been enabled, when you make the object's WD as private. Okay, this is the answer. Okay. So now whenever I'm making this object's WD as private, then by default here Salesforce is going to be enabling the sharing button in every records detail page inside your object only. Okay, not in all the object records, only in that particular object only, because I made the OWD option as private for account object only. So it will go to that account object. In this account object, whatever the records are available, in every records detail page, you will be getting one additional button called as sharing button. What is the use of the sharing button now? By using the sharing button, we can share the record to that people over here. Okay, we can share the record to that people. Because here, when we make the object's WD as private, then upon creating the record will be visible only to me as a owner, along with my manager also will be able to access the record. But the other people will not be able to see my record. At that time, if you want to make some record to be visible to other people also, then we can use that sharing button. By using the sharing button, we can share the record to that one or more number of users inside the organization here. Okay? Clear? Now. No. We can't do that here. In page layout, when you try to enable the sharing button, it won't display that. Okay? Now. Clear? Now make a note over here. When we make the object's WD as private, then Salesforce will enable the sharing button on each records detail page inside the object. Whenever you are making the object's WD as private, then Salesforce will enable the sharing button on every records detail page inside that object here. In that object only, not the contact object record, not on the other object records. Because we made the object's WD as private for only the account object here. In that account object, it will go to every account record. In that account records detail page, will be adding one more additional button that is called as sharing button. By using this sharing button, what we can do, we can share the record to one or more number of users over here. Now, by using the sharing button, we can share the record to one or more users inside the organization. We can share the record to one or more users within the organization over here. Inside that organization, we can share the record to one or more users. Done? So in this case, how can we share the record to the users? Okay. So now let's see practically in this case. In this case, let me explain the sharing architecture over here. So now, whenever you are sharing the record to one or more users, then how many ways are available, how to share, we'll see one by one. Okay. Let me explain the sharing architecture, then we'll see the practical part of each and every option one by one. Now, for example here, assume that I have an object. Okay, I have an object here. So this is my account object here, for example. Okay, so now this is my account object here. For this account object, I am making this object's OWD as private. Okay, I am making this object's OWD as private. So I'm making this object's OWD as private right now. I'm making this object's OWD as private. So now whenever I'm making this object's OWD as private, then what will happen? When a user creates a record inside this account object, that record will be getting visible only to the owner of the record and he's a manager here. Other people will not be able to access that. Then sometimes, okay, whatever the record they have created, for example, come to a scenario, assume that he is my manager here. Today, he has assigned some task to me. Okay, he has assigned some case record to me because assume that I am one of the service person here. He has assigned one case record to me, so I am the owner of that case over here. So I'm working on that case. It will take till tomorrow here. Okay, it will take till tomorrow to complete that case here. We are already informed to the customer, dear customer, we are going to be closing your case by tomorrow evening over here. Now, I have worked on that case. 10% of that task has been completed over here. Now remaining 90% is there. Today, just now, I got an emergency call. I got an emergency call from my hometown. So there is a personal emergency, so I need to go there. So in this case, I can't continue to work on this case record. I need to start immediately here. So now in this case here, what we can do? What we can do in this case here? Now in this case here, the case is already assigned to me over here. Now in this case, along with me, he is also working in my service team. He is also one of my colleague over here. Okay. Now he is not having the access on that case record because I am the owner of the case. I am having the access over here. Along with me, my manager is also having the access on that case record. Now, because of some emergency call, I would like to start immediately so that I can't continue to work on that case. So, but already I have committed to that client. So now we are going to be completing your close. We are closing that case by tomorrow evening here. So or else the case will be getting escalated. Then it will be a very big problem for us. For that one, I have requested one of my colleague over here. He is my colleague inside my service team. He is also working along with me. I have requested him, so boss, today, because of some personal emergency, I'm going to my hometown. So could you please take up this task? Today he don't have any work. He is free today, so that he accepted that. He agreed with that. So let's go, no problem. I will take up this case here. So in this case, what happened? He don't know what exactly the case. Then what we need to do? I need to make that record to be visible to him, right? Then only he can able to see what exactly the problem so that he can work on that. So how can we make that record to be get visible to him? For that one here, whenever I'm making that object's OWD as private, record will be visible only to me and my manager here. But this person is not able to access. Now I want to make my record to be visible to him. For that one, I need a mechanism to share my record to be visible to him also. Okay. So for that one here, Salesforce has given a feature called as sharing feature. Okay. Salesforce is providing a feature called as sharing feature over here. Okay. We are having a concept called as sharing feature. We are having that sharing feature over here. With the help of this sharing feature, we can able to share our record to one or more number of users also. So now in this case here, whatever the record that I'm working right now, I want to make my record to be get visible to one of my colleague also. For that one, I'm using that sharing feature here. With the help of sharing, what we can do, I need to make my record to be get visible to him. That means here I'm not transferring the case. Still I will be the owner of that case record. Just I'm making that record to be visible to him. Then how can we make my record to be get visible to the person over here? For that one, Salesforce has given multiple mechanisms to you over here. To make your record to be get visible to the other people, we are having some multiple mechanisms are available. The first one is we are using a feature called as manual sharing here. Okay. The first way is we are using that manual sharing. Okay. We are using that feature called as manual sharing. First one is manual sharing here. So manual sharing, that means manually we can able to share each and every record to that person over here. Okay. Now, so next one, second one here. Suppose for example here. In this case, we can raise a question, sir, how can we share the record manually? In this case, what needs to be done? We need to use that button called as sharing button. Okay. If you want to share the record manually, use that sharing button over here. Okay. I want to share the record to this person here. So manual sharing can be done with the help of what? Sharing button. So that click on sharing button and select the user to whom you want to share and then share the record over here. Okay. Now, next one here. Second one. Suppose for example, I'm having 20 records are there which I need to share to him. Then what we need to do? First of all, we have to open the first record, click on share button, share the record. And then open the second record, click on share button, share the record. Third record, click on share button, share the record. Like that here, record by record, record by record, record by record, we need to share. But in this case, if I'm having some thousands of records are there, which needs to be get shared, then how much time it will take? Will it take less time or more time? More time here. In this case, instead of sharing more number of records manually, one by one, one by one, one by one, I want to make that process as automated. For that reason here, Salesforce has given a feature called as automated sharing process here. We have the second mechanism called as automated sharing mechanism. The third one is through programming also we can able to share that here. Okay, Apex sharing. The third one is Apex sharing. These are the three sharing mechanisms has been given by Salesforce by default over here. Whenever you are going to be sharing the records, we have these three mechanisms are available. It's a common question in every interview. How many ways are there in Salesforce to share a record? We have three ways are available in Salesforce to share the record. First one is manual sharing. Second one is automated sharing. Third one is Apex sharing. These are the three mechanisms are available right now over here. Okay. These are the sharing mechanisms. These are also called as the sharing types. How many types are available in Salesforce, or how many ways are there in Salesforce to share a record? You can say we have three ways: manual sharing, automated sharing, and then Apex sharing. Okay. Now, the next one. So now how can we share the record manually? How to share the record manually to a person over here? By using what? Sharing button. That's it here. Manual sharing can be done with the help of sharing button. Okay, we are using that sharing button over here. So now manual sharing can be done with the help of this sharing button. So now manual sharing can be done with the help of the sharing button over here. So now tell me when this sharing button will be getting visibility on the record detail page? When the object's OWD is private. Okay, that's it here. So now in this case, when you make the object's OWD as private, then only the sharing button will be getting visible to you on your records detail page here. So that here, manual sharing can be done with the help of that sharing button, which will be getting visible to you in your record detail page when you make that object's OWD as private here. Okay, now. Now, manual sharing can be done with the help of that sharing button. Now, in some cases, the number of records are more. I have some 1,000 records are there which I need to share to the person here. If I'm sharing one by one, one by one, one by one, at that time, it will take more time. So that I would like to make the process as automated over here. Then how can we make this process as automated? For that one, we are going to be using a feature called as sharing rules. Okay, we are using sharing rules. That means we are creating some automated rules. With the help of those rules, we can able to share the record automatically to the users itself. To whom you want to share, we can decide. That possibility is available over here. So now here in this case, automated sharing can be done with the help of the sharing rules. Now, this can be done with the help of sharing rules. With the help of the sharing rules, we can able to share our record to one or more number of users. With the help of the sharing rules, we can share the record to one or more number of users. That possibility is available over here. Now, the third way here, through Apex programming also we can able to share the record. So now here in this case, whenever if you want to share the record through Apex programming, then we have to use a feature called as triggers. With the help of triggers, we can able to share the record to one or more number of users also. As part of development, as part of your Apex programming, we are having a feature called as a triggers feature. With the help of this trigger feature also, we can able to share the records by using triggers. With the help of this triggers feature, we can able to share the record to one or more number of users inside your organization over here. That possibility is available. Whenever you are going to be sharing the records here. Okay, now, upon sharing the record, manually also we can share the record. So manual sharing can be done with the help of sharing button. Automated sharing can be done with the help of sharing rules. Apex sharing can be done with the help of triggers as part of your Apex programming language here. Okay? Now, in this case, by using this sharing process, by using these sharing mechanisms, we can share the record to one or more number of users. So now in this case here, we can share the record to a single user also. That possibility is available. We can share the record to a single user also. We can share the record to a single user also. That possibility is available. Or else, we can able to share the record to that multiple users also. We can share the record to the multiple users also. Not only to a single user, we can share the record to that multiple users also. Depends upon your requirement. So now by using these sharing features, it may be any type of sharing. We can able to share the record to a single user, or we can share the record to that multiple users also. Whenever you are going to be sharing the record to the multiple users, we are going to be using that concept called as public groups. Okay, public groups here. So in this case, to share the record to the multiple users, we are going to be using a feature called as public groups feature here. We are using the feature called as public groups. That means instead of sharing each and every record to that persons one by one, I would like to group all the people into a group over here. Whenever I'm sharing the record to the group, all the group members will be receiving that access on the record automatically. Like as inside your mobiles, we are going to be creating some contacts. Whenever you are having some contacts, you are creating some groups also. Inside your WhatsApp also, we are creating some groups so that whenever you are posting some information inside the group, every group member will be receiving the notification. Like the similar way, I would like to group those people, and with the help of public groups feature, whenever I'm sharing the record to that public group, all the group members will be receiving the access on that record over here. That flexibility is available to you over here. Now, so in this case, we can able to share the record to that either a single user or multiple users also. Now, whenever I'm going to be sharing the record to either a single user or multiple user, suppose for example, I'm sharing my case record to him. So as a owner, I will be having the full control. Like I can see my record, I can modify, I can delete, I can share my record to him. Then when I share the record to him, then what level of access he is having on my record here? Whether this person can able to see my record, or modify my record, delete my record, whether he can share the record to some other people, then what access he will be having on my record, that we can decide here. For that one, before sharing the record to the people, we can able to decide what level of access this person can able to have on my record. I want to grant only the read-only permission over it. Just he can see my case record, that's it. He can't modify, he can't delete, he can share to the other people. In this case here, we can decide the level of accesses also. Whenever you are granting the level of accesses, here we are having two levels of accesses are available in Salesforce here. The first one is we can able to grant read-only access over here. We can grant read-only access over here. And the second one, we can able to grant read-write access here. Read-write access. Depends upon your requirement, we can able to specify what level of access these people will be having on your record over here. That we can able to indicate inside this. Okay. So these are level of access here. Okay. This is also called as simply we can specify access level. Okay. What level of access we can able to grant to the people over here. In this case, what will happen, whenever you are going to be sharing the record, we can decide, okay, whenever you are sharing the record, it may be manual sharing also, we can decide what level of access you would like to grant over here. It may be sharing rules also, we can able to decide that. It may be that through Apex programming also, we can indicate here what level of access you would like to grant. With the help of this access level, we can share the record to the required people over here. Okay, we can grant the level of access over here. This is the sharing architecture. Okay, so that means what here in this case, by using that manual sharing, we can share the record to either a single user or multiple users also with the required level of access by using either read-only or read-write. If I am granting read-only permission, then the people will be having only read permission on my record. Just they can able to see the record. They can't modify, they can't delete. If they try to modify the record, if they try to delete the record, Salesforce is giving the message insufficient privileges. That means you don't have the rights to modify that record. When the user tries to delete my record, then he will be getting the message, insufficient privileges, you don't have the proper rights to delete that record from your object here. Because you are not the owner, you are just an end user, you are just seeing that record, just you are having the read permission, you can't modify, you can't delete those records here. Okay? If I am granting read-write permission, they can able to see my record, they can able to modify my record also, but they can't delete my record because I am the owner of the record here. Always I am having the deletion rights. Other people can see, other people can modify, but the other people can't remove my record without my permissions over here. So that's here, when coming to that sharing process, whenever you are going to be sharing the record, we are having three mechanisms are available: manual sharing, automated sharing, apex sharing. Manual sharing means what? Manually also we can able to share the record to one or more number of users. At that time, manual sharing can be done with the help of what? Sharing button. Through sharing button, we can share the record to one or more number of users with the required level of access. And then, if the number of records are more to share, at that time we can make the process automated. So with the help of this automated sharing also, we can share multiple records to a single user or multiple users in one shot. So that automated sharing can be done with the help of sharing rules concept here. With the help of the sharing rules, we can share the record to either a single user or multiple users. Through Apex programming also, with the help of the triggers feature, we can share the record to one or more number of users with the required level of access over here. Okay? So this is the complete sharing process and architecture that we have. Then how to implement this sharing process, we'll see practically one by one in tomorrow's session. How to share the record manually. Okay, to single user, we'll see separately. How to share the record to the multiple users with the help of public groups, we'll see separately. And then once you are done with that manual sharing, then we'll go with that automated sharing. How to create sharing rules, how to share the record to the required people with read-only, with read-write permissions. We'll see one by one over here. Okay, clear? Now, so tomorrow we are having purely the practical concept here.